This is Hiroshima. Located in the heart of the Chugoku region, this city has a one-of-a-kind character. With its picturesque views, moving memorials, and powerful monuments to peace, this is a town united. And that energy is reflected in the tremendous support for the city's iconic sports teams, including their local J-League club, Sanfrecce Hiroshima. This legendary stadium has been home to Sanfrecce since their J-League debut. Through good times and bad, no matter whether they were lifting trophies or lamenting relegation, one thing has remained: the incredible support of these purple-clad fans. This loyalty and togetherness is embedded in Sanfrecce's very identity. Their name comes from the Japanese word for three, san, and the Italian word for arrows, frecce, and is a reference to a feudal-era folktale about the importance of sticking together and working on behalf of the group. While one single arrow can be easily snapped, it's said that three arrows bundled together are much harder to break. Hence, Sanfrecce. That name has been most fitting over the years for this city, which has a spirit of togetherness and resilience embedded in its DNA. And for a club that has accomplished so much since its foundation in 1938, all the way up to its J-League debut in the early 90s. As one of the original 10 clubs, Sanfrecce's J-League beginnings were not nearly as successful as their long and illustrious non-professional era. At first, it was a story of near misses, finishing second in the league in 1994 and losing a trio of Emperor's Cup finals in the 90s. In the decade after, the near misses transformed into a fate far worse as a pair of relegations sunk the club to J2 in 2002 and 2007. But all of that started to change in 2012, when Hajime Moriyasu took over as Sanfrecce manager. Moriyasu was already an iconic figure in Hiroshima, having spent 14 years playing for the club, but his legend grew remarkably as a manager. In Moriyasu's debut season, Sanfrecce conquered the J-League for the first time in 2012, and then again in 2 of the next 3 years to go along with a third-place finish at the 2015 FIFA Club World Cup. Led by a pair of J-League MVPs in Hisato Sato and Toshihiro Aoyama, Sanfrecce were unquestionably the most dominant team in Japan for the era. Sanfrecce haven't reached those heights again, but there's still hope among the fanbase for the golden years to return, with a young and fearless side coming into their own. While last season's 8th place finish was ostensibly a step back, Sanfrecce have started 2021 brightly, having rebuilt the squad this season under manager Hiroshi Jofuku, who has not been shy about incorporating emerging talent, particularly into an impressive defense. 21-year-old Keisuke Osako is already considered one of Japan's top goalkeepers and has been trusted by Jofuku since he was a teenager. The Academy to Pro pipeline has also produced 20-year-old youth national team standout Shunki Higashi, whose 2021 is off to an absolute flyer. And these two have quite the tutor to learn from, as most weeks a 35-year-old Aoyama remains just ahead of them in the heart of midfield. This is a guy to learn from. In the attack, Sanfrecce are still working on finding the right formula, but there's no shortage of attacking quality. 24-year-old Tsukasa Morishima wears the number 10 shirt and has been developing impressively every year since getting his professional start at Sanfrecce. Brazilian Júnior Santos is also in purple this season, having previously made a name for himself in the blue shirt of Yokohama Marinos. He's already done things like this in Hiroshima. All in all, it's clear that this is a team with enormous potential. Sanfrecce are just 3 years removed from a second-place finish in the league and were into the knockout stages in continental competition in 2019. While at times this team can seem off the pace of the J1 elite, there's no question this J-League original is only a few moves and a few big performances away from recapturing their glory days.